cutlery, spoons, knives. It will be a set, like, with spoons and knives and forks and whatever it is in one set. Again, I said I would travel all the way to Thika town. It was this hawker friendly shop. I don't know what it's called. I can't remember the name of the shop. It was just behind where KCB, Kenya Commercial Bank, is, near the stage, the main stage. And there's a shop there behind KCB, and I believe behind where KCB is or used to be. And yeah, they would sell stuff for hawkers. They would sell wholesale. It was basically wholesale, but it was a lot of hawkers would go and buy there, then go and resell them wherever it was. So I would go and buy from there and resell. And the cutlery stuff started from the proceeds of the neckties. So basically, I mean, the business was booming-ish. Did quite well. So sold them quite a bit. And I was able to make my money. Occasionally gift a few people here and there and made good sales in the month. And I would go to someone and say, okay, this is my gift for you. I think I remember I had a gift for my late mom, not neckties, but cutlery set. And a few other people I sold to my relatives, I sold to random strangers, and it did quite well for that time. And yeah, it was interesting. It was interesting. I wasn't your day-to-day hawker shouting in the streets. I don't think I have that in me, being an ambivert with an inclination to being an introvert. I don't have that ability to speak very well in public. Right now, I'm alone. You will watch it, but I'm alone, so I'm speaking to myself. Again, as I said in the previous post, this is basically my therapy. Yeah, and I told someone the other day I'm very uneasy with counselors and psychologists. I don't like being vulnerable. So yeah, this is going to be my therapy most of the time. So bear with me, and hope you enjoy my struggles, pain, no, my stories. Yeah. So I was able to, as I said, I was able to cater for quite a number of my bills until whenever a national theatre things would pay well, a play would pay very well, like Aminata came, and with Aminata, we did Aminata. I was a gig at the Village Madman, sorry for that, Ichitami, I think I'm hungry. Yeah, so I did a gig at the Village Madman, and that I think from what we were told, that was one of the best performing set books, school set books of all time, at least as at that time. And we were paid quite well. I mean, I received, and Agege was not the main character. It was like, like sub-main, I don't know, main character, sub-main, yeah, whatever. So Agege was somewhere in the middle there. Quite a significant role, but not the main character. And yeah, I was paid 55,000 Kenya shillings. That time, that was a lot of money. I mean, even now, it's a lot of money. And I was able to move out of my cousin's house, my late cousin's house. Wonderful guy, interesting guy, wonderful guy. I'll tell you a story maybe one time, but you can't read it in a book. Read about it in a book. Yeah, so I was able to move out of his house and and that's when I moved to Udiru, Gadondeki. I was able to move to Gadondeki. I was able to pay my rent for a few months and cater for my needs for a few months before the money eventually, of course, ran out, and again had to go back to the day-to-day broke state of affairs. Yeah, so that's how hawking came about. So coming back to where I began this story about my being a hawker, how I remembered it was when I was coming back from the wedding that took place yesterday. DM, hashtag DM. I don't know if you do hashtag DM 2026, you'll find them. But wonderful, wonderful people, a wonderful couple, friends of mine. Yeah, so came from their wedding, and yeah, as the Uber lady we were chatting in the vehicle driving back, and she started lamenting about how she would never ever in her life afford Windsor, or even going to the hotel. She'd only been able to drop passengers, pick passengers from there, but she believed she would never be able to afford. And I'm like, listen, the people who come to Windsor don't have two heads, do they? No, I don't know. Tell me if they do. Tell me if you do. Do you go to Windsor? Do you have two heads? No, I don't think so. Okay, maybe you do. Yeah, they don't have two heads. They have one head, just like you. The only difference might be their lane in life, might be how they can afford it now, or they've always been able to afford it. Whichever the case may be, you may still one day come to Windsor easily. Well, not easily, but yeah, it's still affordable. And then that's when I began talking about. That's when I remembered about my hawking days, and I'm like, you know what? I used to be a hawker. Granted, I had already qualified as a medical doctor, just waiting to go for internship. I had not I had not actually done the exam by the time I began being a hawker. So I was like, yeah, you know what? Um, yeah, I was a hawker one time in this city close to. I think no, I said 1 year. It was more than a year. It was more than a year because I began hawking before I did the exam, the pre-internship exam. So I was already acting, and I needed to make extra money. So after I was up and down, and looking for someone to allow me to do my exam when I was ready and all that kind of stuff. Trying to find hospitals where I could be placed for practical, so I could practice, so I can also remember my English, remember medicine in English, stuff like that. So that's how I began hawking. My memory is also fading at 50 to 51. Yeah, it's my birthday soon. 2 days time, it's my birthday. So too many. My M-Pesa, that one. So yeah, I think I did close 1.5 years of hawking. If not at least minimum it was a year, but about one, not the whole 2 years. I was out of medicine or in acting, but at least 1.5 years, I was a hawker. And my colleagues in the entertainment industry did not know this. So those with whom Kina Jeff Shigoli, Kina Mudamba, and the guys at Banamuzi Players, Kina Ndiege, Dancing to Space, that were working with collaboratively between Banamuzi Players and Dancing to Space, combining acting and contemporary dance, and of course my comedy mime. That's how I got into doing comedy mime. And that's how I got into doing comedy mime in Kenya with Dancing to Space and Banamuzi Players, who do like collaborative either poetry and contemporary and dance with mime, comedy mime. So I was able to fuse my mime into that. Yeah, I was able to do my hawking work on the side without the team knowing. I would even sometimes come in my briefcase, having come from doing business, and they would not know. It was a blue briefcase that would sit there, nice looking. I would wash it and it would look very decent. No one knew that was my shop. Yeah, so yeah, as we were discussing, and I said, listen, I was a hawker at some point, and I didn't come to Windsor today because I could necessarily afford it. I was quite broke. I'm quite broke right now. Hopefully soon I won't be. But yeah, I came to support my friends. We came for their wedding, and it was a wonderful occasion. Not everybody can afford this, but also again, it's not that it's super super special. So no, take heart, and then we talked about my book, we talked about my life, we talked about some of the things I've gone through, and she was like, yo, that's inspiring, man. You've lived, you've seen. Studying. I always jokingly say that Death and I have had conversations several times. Looked at each other and like, you know what? Is it yet? He's like, nah, you good, you good. You survive today. We'll catch up later. Who knows? I mean, that is talk about the gunshots, the bombing, the missiles, all that kind of stuff that has happened in the last few years in my humanitarian work, in the last 10, 11, 12 years as a humanitarian, especially internationally, and all the things that I've gone through. So she's like, yeah, it's inspiring. And I was like, oh, thank you. Thank you so much. That was the plan for the book, and that was hopefully what was going to come out of it, to inspire somebody and make them realize, life can take a tangent for you, can take a corner for you, but it can always come back. But at the same time, yeah, and we all have our different lanes in life, different lines in life, but not to give up. Keep on holding on. Yeah, and yeah, it's just a few hours past Valentine. So those of you who are not Valentine, hopefully get Valentine soon or next year. Who knows? Adios.